Another day. It's day before work, night before work, and I'm just getting stuff ready to go. Got my apples and whatnot. Just finished up my apples. Figured I'd check in with you guys, but took a big step today. I went to therapy. I went to therapy tonight, and I gotta say, it was a great experience. I think a lot of people are really concerned or mystified by therapy. I live with a therapist, so it does sometimes feel like I talk to a wizard who has all of life's answers understood and figured out, and sometimes it is tough to just kind of get out there and put yourself out there. But I've been going through a lot lately. It hasn't been the easiest time for me, just in managing all my responsibilities. I'm not quite in the job that I want to be in. It's cool because I get to help people. I get to help young people, but and it pays. It pays decently well, but there's not a ton of hours. It's an hourly position, but it's not like a full-on teacher. And I mean, right here, I got my baby monitor. I got kid stuff all over the place. Like, life is just, it's not very easy right now. And one thing that I've just been dealing with is living with two lives. You know, my one life at home is an incredible life. Now, it's hard, it's difficult, and I want to make a video later just about what it's like to be a parent, what it's like to be a dad, because there's a ton of misconceptions. And really, the struggles of being a new parent has a lot less to do with being the parent, and it has a lot more to do with everything else in life. I mean, when I'm at work, I'm thinking about my kid, I'm thinking about my family, even just getting to work. When I show up to work, it feels like I have already lived a full day. And I feel like life has a way in stressful and difficult situations of bringing up, I don't know, maybe feelings or things that have happened in the past, or just kind of pulls that little thread that keeps on going, and unearths certain things within your mind and your spirit and your heart that have kind of been there all along. And for me, therapy kind of allows me to be with somebody who understands that and really just gives you a time and a place and a space to work through those things. Now, I've been fortunate enough to have been to counseling before, and it's just basic talk therapy. You sit with someone, you talk about your week. I mentioned, and I talked a lot about just this bad review I'd gotten at work recently, and it was really hard to take that. And we were talking about me being just someone who takes criticism really personally, and that's something I know, but I think we all have that thing that we know that we deal with in life. We know it's not healthy, or we know it's not the right way to go about things, but for most of us, that doesn't change the fact that we experience those things. Like, I know that I take criticism very personally, and I take it to heart, and I don't want to do that. But for whatever reason, in those situations, I think that, like, little kid brain inside of me that maybe had those feelings and experiences before goes right to that place when I receive criticism. And even if it's like good criticism, even if it's strong criticism in the sense of there's actionable steps, still I feel like, man, why am I such an idiot? The one thing my therapist told me was, you're a perfectionist. And I'm like, no, I never got good grades in school. I didn't really care about getting good grades in school. None of that was important to me. And she's like, no, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're not a perfectionist. That just means you weren't a perfectionist at school. So we got to talking about those things, and I got to talking just about my own struggles and just the things in my life that I've had to deal with before. And we got to catch up. I saw this therapist for like 2 years before we stopped for like a whole calendar year. Probably even like almost like a year and a half I haven't seen this person. So when we saw each other, we hugged, and it was so good to see them. But for me, therapy has just been a beautiful space where I'm able to talk about the things that I struggle with, talk about the things that bother me, and it's almost like you have just a sounding board to kind of go off of. And I don't necessarily think it's for the lowest of situations only. Like, I don't think it's only for when you're struggling or you're depressed or you're anxious, but it's good for just, you know, all stress and all frustrations that you deal with. I mean, my life is spending hours and hours every single day trying to get kids to do things that they don't want to do. And that takes a toll. Like, sometimes you sit there and you think, like, am I doing anything at all? Like, am I making anything happen? And sometimes you feel like you do great things, but there's seasons even where you feel like you don't do great things. Like, someone comes to you each and every day and you see no growth, you see no progress, and you think, am I the idiot? And that's what I've been feeling a lot lately. And like, living these two lives at home, I feel like I'm being a good dad. I feel like I'm being a good partner, spouse, or whatever you want to call it. And I love that. And I spend so much of my day, though, on the other part of my life, on that second life, where I'm stressed out and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Because I think that's like anybody in any job, but you can get a degree or a clearance or a certification on something, and then you get out into the real world. You're like, it's time to go. It's showtime. And you get up there and you feel like you forgot everything. And that's kind of what I was telling her about starting up this new job. Was like, I'd finished this program, I had gotten these credentials, passed all the tests, did everything, felt like I took a step back a little bit in this job, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. It felt like just like the kids, I came back from summer and I'd spent a whole summer not thinking about anything that I had to do from day one, and I felt like an idiot. Like, I just felt so dumb, and I felt like I had forgotten everything. And then that's when the ideas and the thoughts of me not being worthy or worth it or capable, or should I do something else, am I not cut out for this, kind of spilled in. And that's been spilling in and spilling in. And I think going to counseling was being able to kind of, those things that are spilling into my mind pour out, into somewhere else. So I don't know if you're thinking about checking out therapy or something like that. I say go for it. You might not find a good therapist. Find another one. It's just like doctors and teachers and school bus drivers and whatever. There's really good ones and there's also not really good ones. And I was fortunate enough to find a fantastic one. So if this resonated with you, respond to it. Engage with this content, because I need this, because maybe one day this might turn into something else for me. But like and subscribe. I love y'all. Peace.